Hello, everyone, and welcome to Chatcraft English. I'm Sophie, and today I want to share something with you that can truly change the way you see yourself, the way you learn English, and even the way you live your life. Have you ever noticed how your thoughts can shape your feelings, your confidence, and even your actions? The truth is, you become what you think. If you believe you are weak, you will act in weak ways. If you believe you are strong, your actions will follow with strength. And if you believe you can learn English speak fluently and express yourself clearly, you will start taking the steps that make that vision real. So in this lesson, we are going to explore how your thoughts create your reality. I will guide you through stories, examples, and practical exercises that will not only help you improve your English, but also transform your mindset. Remember, learning a language is not only about vocabulary and grammar. It is also about how you see yourself as a learner. If you tell yourself, "I am bad at English," you will stay stuck. But if you start saying, "I am learning, I am improving every day, I can do this," then step by step, you will notice real progress. Stay with me, because as we move forward, you will discover how powerful your thoughts are and how you can use them to become the confident English speaker you want to be. Have you ever noticed how powerful your thoughts are? The way you think shapes the way you feel, the way you act, and even the way you live your life. Today we are exploring a simple but life-changing idea: you become what you think. This means the quality of your thoughts creates the quality of your life. If you fill your mind with worry, fear, and self-doubt, you will experience more obstacles, more stress, and more failure. But if you fill your mind with hope, confidence, and positive energy, your life will move in that direction. Think about this. Every action begins with a thought. Before you speak, before you move, before you achieve anything, it all starts in your mind. A person who believes they are strong and capable will face challenges with courage. But someone who tells themselves, "I can't do this, I'm not good enough," will stop before they even try. Your mind is like the soil of a garden. Whatever seeds you plant, there will grow. If you plant seeds of negativity, you will harvest doubt and fear. If you plant seeds of positivity, you will harvest confidence and success. This is not just about motivation. It is about training your brain. Scientists call this the power of mindset. When you think positively, your brain creates new connections that make you more likely to notice opportunities and take action. For example, let's say you are learning English. If you keep thinking, "This is too hard, I will never be fluent," then your brain will stop looking for solutions. You will feel tired and unmotivated. But if you think, "I can improve step by step, every day I am getting better," then your brain begins to notice small progress. You feel motivated to continue. Your thoughts direct your focus, and your focus creates your results. Let's imagine two students learning English. The first one always complains grammar is too difficult. Native speakers talk too fast. "I will never sound natural." This student becomes discouraged and studies less. After a few months, they quit. The second student thinks differently. "Yeah, grammar can be challenging, but I can learn one rule at a time. Native speakers are fast, but I can practice listening every day. I may not sound perfect now, but I will sound better with practice." This student stays motivated. After a few months, they improve their listening, speaking, and confidence. The same situation, but two completely different results. Why? Because of the way they think. Your mind is like a magnet. It attracts what you focus on. If you focus on fear, you attract more fear. If you focus on opportunities, you begin to see them everywhere. Many successful people in history understood this principle. They imagined success before they achieved it. They believed in themselves even when others doubted them. Their thoughts guided their actions, and their actions created their future. So, how can you use this idea in your daily life? First, become aware of your thoughts. Pay attention to the words you say to yourself. If you often say, "I can't try changing it," to "I can learn." If you say, "This is impossible," try saying, "This is a challenge, but I can find a way." Small changes in your language create big changes in your mindset. Second, visualize the life you want. Close your eyes and picture yourself speaking English confidently, passing a difficult test, or achieving a personal goal. Your brain cannot always tell the difference between imagination and reality. When you imagine success, your brain prepares you to act with more confidence. Athletes use this technique all the time. Before a race, they visualize themselves running fast and crossing the finish line. This helps their body perform better. You can do the same with your goals. Third, surround yourself with positive influences. Your environment shapes your thoughts. If you spend time with negative people who complain all the time, you will start to think like them. But if you surround yourself with people who are motivated, supportive, and optimistic, their energy will inspire you to think more positively. Even if you cannot change your environment completely, you can choose what you watch, what you read, and what you listen to. Listening to encouraging voices, reading inspiring books, and watching educational videos can fill your mind with positive ideas that help you grow. Finally, take small actions every day that match your thoughts. If you believe in becoming confident in English, then practice a little every day. Read an article, watch a short video, or speak a few sentences aloud. If you believe in being healthier, take small steps like drinking more water, walking for 10 minutes, or eating more vegetables. These actions may look small, but they show your brain that you are serious. Over time, these small actions build big results. Remember this, your thoughts are not just ideas floating in your head. They are the foundation of your future. You become what you think because your thoughts shape your feelings, your decisions, and your actions. If you want to change your life, start by changing your thoughts. When we think about the idea that you become what you think, it may sound simple at first. But when you look more closely, you realize it is one of the most powerful truths that can completely shape your life. Every action you take, every habit you form, and every decision you make comes first from a single thought. Thoughts are like seeds planted in your mind. If you keep planting the same seeds, they will grow into habits, and those habits will eventually create the reality you live in every day. So the question is, what kind of seeds are you planting in your mind right now? Are they seeds of confidence, hope, and growth? Or are they seeds of fear, doubt, and negativity? Because whatever you choose, those seeds will grow. Think about a small example. Imagine someone who always tells themselves, "I'm bad at English, I'll never improve." That thought, repeated again and again, becomes a belief. And when it becomes a belief, It shapes how the person studies how much effort they put in, and even how they behave when speaking English with others. They might feel nervous, avoid speaking, and give up quickly. In the end, their thought becomes reality. They really do stay bad at English, not because they cannot learn, but because they convince themselves they couldn't. On the other hand, imagine another person who tells themselves, "I'm learning English step by step, and every day I get better." This thought gives them confidence and energy. It pushes them to practice, to take small risks, and to keep going. Over time, this thought also becomes reality, and the person does improve because they believed it was possible. This is why it is so important to control your thoughts and to be aware of what you are telling yourself every day. The voice inside your head is more powerful than the voices of other people around you. Sometimes you might not even notice how negative your self-talk is. You might think it is just the truth, but often it is only a habit of thinking. The good news is that habits of thought can be changed just like habits of action. One way to start changing your thoughts is to pay attention to the words you use. Words are not just sounds. They are powerful signals that shape your brain and your emotions. If you always use words like, "I can't," "I'm not good enough," or "it's too hard," your brain starts to believe them, and they influence your actions. But if you replace those words with, "I can try," "I'm learning," or "I'll get better with practice," you send a completely different message to your brain. Over time, these positive messages become the new habit, and they guide you toward better actions. It is also helpful to spend time imagining the person you want to become. Visualization is a powerful tool that many successful people use. When you close your eyes and imagine yourself speaking English with confidence, getting a job you dream of, or living in a place where you can use English every day, your brain begins to accept that picture as possible. This picture gives you motivation, and it helps guide your choices in real life. It is like giving your mind a map so that it knows where to go. Without this map, your thoughts might wander everywhere and you may feel lost. But when you create a clear picture in your mind, your thoughts start to move you in that direction. Another thing to remember is that thoughts are connected to emotions. When you think positive thoughts, you feel better, and when you feel better, you act better. For example, if you think, "I can't do this," you may feel hopeless and tired, and then you stop trying. But if you think, "I'll give it a try, maybe I'll surprise myself," you feel curious and hopeful. And that emotion gives you energy to act. So in a way, thoughts create emotions. Emotions create actions, and actions create results. This is the cycle that shapes your entire life. Of course, negative thoughts will always appear from time to time. Nobody can control their mind perfectly. But what matters is not to fight them or feel guilty about them, but to replace them with better thoughts as quickly as you can. Imagine you are driving a car and you make a wrong turn. You don't stop and cry about it. You simply turn back onto the right road. In the same way, when a negative thought enters your mind, notice it, and then gently guide yourself back to a better one. With practice, this becomes easier and more natural. To make this practical, you can try a simple exercise. Every morning before you start your day, say to yourself 3 positive sentences about who you want to be. For example, "I am learning and improving every day." "I am confident when I speak English." I can achieve the goals I set. At first, it might feel strange, but if you repeat it every day, your brain starts to believe it. And when your brain believes it, your actions will follow. Remember, you do not become what other people think of you. You do not become what society tells you. You become what you think. Your life is shaped by your inner world, much more than by your outer world. This is why changing your thoughts is one of the most powerful things you can ever do. Many people underestimate the power of their own inner voice. Every day you are talking to yourself in your mind. This inner conversation can either lift you up or pull you down. If your thoughts are always negative, if you are telling yourself that you are not smart enough, not good enough, or not capable enough, then those beliefs slowly become your reality. You start acting smaller than you really are. You stop taking opportunities because you believe you will fail. You avoid challenges because you assume you cannot handle them. Over time, those thoughts shape your life. On the other hand, if you train yourself to think positively, if you begin to believe that you are capable of learning, growing, and improving, then your life starts to reflect those thoughts. You take more chances, you explore new opportunities, and you build confidence step by step. Positive thinking does not mean you ignore problems. It means you face them with the belief that you can find solutions. This belief changes the way you act, and the way you act changes the results you get. For example, imagine you are learning English. If your mind is filled with thoughts like, I will never be fluent, or I am too old to learn, then you will feel discouraged. You may study for a short time, but you will likely give up when it becomes difficult. But if your thoughts are, I can improve a little every day, or mistakes are part of learning, then you will keep going. That mindset allows you to progress much faster, even if your English is not perfect yet. Your thoughts give you the strength to continue. This idea is not just theory. It has been proven by many successful people. They all share a strong mindset. Athletes, for example, train their bodies, but they also train their minds. Before a race or a game, they imagine themselves winning. They focus their thoughts on success, not failure. That mental practice gives them confidence and energy. In the same way, you can practice focusing your thoughts on success in your daily life. A simple way to do this is through affirmations. An affirmation is a positive sentence you tell yourself again and again. For instance, you can say, I am improving my English every day, or I am capable of learning new skills. At first, it may feel strange, but over time, your brain begins to accept these statements. They replace the negative thoughts that hold you back. You do not need to shout them. Even quietly repeating them to yourself can make a difference. Another technique is visualization. Visualization means creating a picture in your mind of what you want to achieve. If you want to speak English confidently, close your eyes and imagine yourself having a smooth conversation with someone. See yourself smiling, answering questions, and enjoying the conversation. The more you imagine this scene, the more your brain starts to believe it is possible. And when you believe it, you start acting in ways that make it real. Of course, changing your thoughts takes practice. Negative thinking may return again and again. But every time you notice a negative thought, you can challenge it. Ask yourself, is this really true? Or is it just my fear speaking? Often you will realize that the negative thought is not a fact, but only a feeling. When you replace it with a positive thought, you take back control of your mind. Think about this, your thoughts are like seeds. If you plant seeds of doubt, you grow weeds of fear. If you plant seeds of confidence, you grow a garden of success. You cannot control every event in your life, but you can control the way you think about it. That choice, repeated every day, shapes the person you become. As we continue exploring the idea that you become what you think, it is important to understand how daily habits shape your future. Thoughts are not separate from actions. Every small action you take begins as a thought in your mind. When you repeatedly think in a certain way, you start to act according to those thoughts, and those actions slowly turn into habits. Over time, habits define who you are and what kind of life you create for yourself. For example, imagine someone who often thinks, "I am lazy, I can't focus." These thoughts lead them to act in a lazy way, maybe by sitting for hours, doing nothing, or avoiding tasks. Soon, this becomes their habit, and their life begins to reflect that laziness. On the other hand, if someone thinks, "I can improve little by little," then they take small actions each day, like reading for 10 minutes, practicing English for 20 minutes, or exercising for a short time. These small habits grow into big changes. In this way, your thoughts are like seeds. Your actions are the water and sunlight, and your life is the tree that grows from them. The good news is that you can choose your thoughts, and by doing so, you can change your habits. But it requires awareness. Many people live their lives without noticing what they are thinking. They let negative or unhelpful thoughts fill their minds. Thoughts like, "I'm not good enough," or "I always fail," become background music in their head, and slowly they believe it is true. But when you become aware of your thoughts, you can catch them and decide to replace them with better ones. Let's connect this idea to learning English. If you constantly think English is too hard for me, then you will avoid speaking, avoid reading, and avoid practicing. Your habit will be giving up easily. But if you change your thought to "I can learn English step by step," then you will start practicing a little each day. Soon it becomes a habit, and that habit brings progress. Every fluent English speaker started with small steps and built strong habits. Another important point is visualization. Visualization means creating a picture in your mind of who you want to be. Athletes use this technique before competitions. They imagine themselves winning, crossing the finish line, or scoring the goal. This mental picture prepares their mind and body to perform well. You can use the same method in your daily life. Imagine yourself speaking English clearly in a conversation. Imagine yourself traveling and using English confidently. The more you visualize success, the more your mind believes it is possible, and your actions follow that belief. Let's try a short exercise. Close your eyes for a moment and think of the person you want to become. Maybe you see yourself as confident, healthy, successful, and fluent in English. Hold that picture in your mind and feel it as if it is already true. Now open your eyes and remind yourself that every thought you choose today is either moving you closer to or further from that vision. When you think positively and act with purpose, You step closer to the person you imagined. Of course, changing your thoughts is not always easy. Negative thinking is like a strong habit itself, and habits are hard to break. But one effective way to train your mind is through affirmations. Affirmations are short positive sentences that you repeat to yourself. For example, you can say, "I am improving every day," or "I can learn and grow." At first, it might feel strange or even false. But over time, your brain begins to accept these affirmations as reality, and they shape the way you act. You can also use your environment to support your thinking. Surround yourself with people who inspire you with books or videos that encourage you, and with reminders of your goals. If you see a note on your wall that says, "I am becoming fluent in English," it will remind you every day of the thoughts you want to keep. Your environment feeds your mind, just like food feeds your body. Choose carefully what you allow into your mental space. Another powerful tool is gratitude. When you focus on what you are grateful for, your mind shifts from negative to positive. For example, instead of thinking "I am bad at English," you can think "I am grateful I know more English than I did last year." This small change creates a positive feeling and motivates you to keep going. Gratitude teaches your mind to look for the good, and the more good you see, the more good you create. Remember, your thoughts are like a compass guiding your actions and habits. If your compass is set toward doubt and fear, your life will follow that direction. But if your compass is set toward growth, confidence, and positivity, then your actions and habits will lead you there. You truly become what you think, and by shaping your thoughts, you shape your destiny. Your thoughts are like seeds, and every seed you plant in your mind will eventually grow into something real in your life. If you constantly plant seeds of worry, doubt, and fear, your life will reflect that. But if you plant seeds of confidence, belief, and determination, your life will grow in that direction instead. That is why it is so important to choose your thoughts carefully, because they don't just stay in your head, they become your reality. Imagine for a moment two people who start their day in very different ways. The first person wakes up and immediately thinks, "Today is going to be difficult. I'm tired. I'm not good enough." These thoughts set the tone for their entire day. They carry a heavy mood, they feel unmotivated, and they even attract situations that confirm what they already believe. On the other hand, the second person wakes up and tells themselves, "I can handle whatever happens today. I am capable. I will make progress." Even if challenges come, they face them with a stronger attitude, and their positive mindset opens doors to better opportunities. Both people live in the same world, but their thoughts create completely different experiences. This shows us a powerful truth. We don't see the world as it is, we see the world as we are. If you think you are weak, the world will feel heavy. If you think you are strong, the world will give you chances to prove it. This is why training your mind is just as important as training your body. Your body cannot move without your brain, and your life cannot move forward without the right mindset. Now, how can you start training your thoughts so they help you instead of holding you back? One simple method is awareness. Start noticing the kind of thoughts you repeat every day. Do you often say to yourself, "I can't do this, I'm not ready, I always fail"? Or do you encourage yourself with thoughts like, "I will try," I am learning, I am improving. Once you become aware of the negative thoughts, you can replace them with better ones. It will not happen overnight, but every time you choose a stronger thought, you are shaping a stronger future. Another important step is to surround yourself with positive input. The mind works like a sponge, it absorbs whatever you put into it. If you fill it with negative news, toxic conversations, and discouraging voices, it will naturally produce more negative thoughts. But if you feed it with inspiring stories, uplifting books, and encouraging people, your thoughts will begin to reflect that energy. Just as your body becomes healthier when you eat better food, your mind becomes healthier when you feed it better ideas. Also remember that thinking is not just about what happens inside your head. Your thoughts influence your words, and your words influence your actions. If you constantly say, "I can't speak English," then you will feel nervous and avoid opportunities to practice. But if you say, "I am learning English every day, and I am getting better," you will feel more confident and take more chances to improve. Over time, those small actions create big results. So never underestimate the power of your self-talk. It is the bridge between your mind and your reality. You might be wondering, but Sophie, what if I don't believe the positive thoughts at first? That is a very good question. The answer is simple. Keep practicing. Just like exercising a muscle, your brain becomes stronger with repetition. The first time you tell yourself, "I am confident," you may not feel confident yet. But if you repeat it daily, your brain starts to accept it as normal, and soon you begin to act in ways that prove it true. Belief grows from practice, not from waiting until you feel ready. Finally, let's remember, this life gives us many challenges, but it also gives us the power to choose how we respond. You cannot control every situation, but you can control your thoughts about it. You cannot decide what happens to you, but you can decide what story you tell yourself about it. And that story, the one you repeat in your mind, becomes the direction of your life. So today I encourage you to ask yourself, what seeds am I planting in my mind? Are they seeds of fear or seeds of courage? Seeds of doubt or seeds of confidence? Whatever you think about most will eventually show up in your life. So choose carefully, because you don't just live with your thoughts, you become them. And when you choose powerful, positive thoughts, you create a powerful, positive life.